In this video, we're going to review, okay, this is from a while ago, graphing and slope-intercept. Now, you knew how to do this first semester, but maybe you forgot. That's okay. Happens. Okay, here's what you need to know. This is called slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And what we need to know is that this number right here, whatever number is sitting right there in that part of the equation, that's the y-intercept. What do you need to know about the y-intercept? You're going to start your graph here. On the y-axis. So like let's say that's a 5, you would start at 5 on the y-axis, right? The y-axis is this line, the up and down line. If it's -3, you start at -3. Okay. Now, if there's no number here, if there's no number there, if there's nothing written, if there's just a y equals 3x, let's say, and there's no plus anything, and that just means it's 0, right? Like that's plus 0 and we don't write it. Okay. So that's what you need to know about that number, that y-intercept. And then this number is called the slope. Okay, and if you remember, the slope on the graph is rise over run. So let's say we have a 1 over 2, that would be a rise of 1 and a run of 2, so I'd go up 1, right 2. Okay, that's what we need to know about slope. Now, some other things, let's say it's a whole number. Like let's say it's just the number 4. What you do is you take the whole number and you put that number over 1, right? And then it's a fraction. Then this is the rise and the run. Okay, now, if there's no number here, then it's 1, right? It's 1x. So that would be 1, and you would make that into 1 over 1, right? That would be a rise of 1, a run of 1. Now, and then careful, because if it's negative, the easiest thing to do is just take that negative and put it on the top of the fraction. Oops. Oof. So let's say like you have -1/2. The easiest thing to do is just say, okay, the rise is -1 and the run is 2, like that. Okay, so that's kind of what you need to know about the two numbers that you notice. So let's just do a couple examples of what this looks like now when you try to actually go ahead and graph it on a graph. So let's take a look at this equation, right? It has a y-intercept of -4 and a slope of 1 over 3. And I'm just going to sketch just so you can kind of see, right? Like, so I would start at -4 on the y-axis. So I would start here, right? I'm starting at -4 on the y-axis. And then I'm going to go up 1, right? This is my rise, so I'm going to go up 1 and right 3. And sometimes what I like to do is just write like rise over run like this and then write the 1 over 3 next to it, and then you can really just see it easily. So watch, I'm going to go up 1, right 3. Now, on paper, you would kind of like keep going up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3 to make the line neat. In Edge Elastic, once you graph 2 points, you have a line. It'll look like that. Okay. What if you have an equation like this, y equals -2x plus 5? Right? Then you would say, okay, well, I'm going to start at +5 here. Now this -2, right? What's my rise over run? Remember, if I have a whole number, I'm going to put it over, I'm going to put -2 over 1. So this would be going down to right 1, down to right 1 like that. And your line would look something like this. Okay, and then lastly, like what if you have something, let's just do this, y equals x. What does that look like? Okay, well notice there's no y-intercept, right? So the y-intercept is 0. Right? There's no slope. So the slope is 1 over 1. So what would this look like? This would just be, I'd put a point here at 0, right? That's a y-intercept of 0 right there. And then I would go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, right? And this would be my line. It would look like this. That would be y equals x, right?